Welcome to Thriving on Purpose, the YouTube channel. Hello, beautiful beings, and thank you for tuning in to another episode of Thriving on Purpose, the YouTube channel, where we share stories of hope and inspiration for other ladies who may be on their breast cancer journey so that they can know that not only can life be good after breast cancer, but it can be better than ever before. I am your host, Dee Manuel Cloud. I am a two-time breast cancer survivor. I am a breast cancer survivor strategist. I am an international speaker and also a best-selling author of the book Beauty in the Breakdown, Finding Peace in the Midst of Life's Disruptions. And today I have with me the amazing Sabine Wade, who is going to share her story and of her breast cancer journey and inspire our listeners to know that life can be better after breast cancer. So Sabine, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me, Dee. I really appreciate being here today.
And thank you so much for taking the time. Time is more valuable than money. We can always earn more money. We can't get our time back. So thank you for taking the time.
Totally agree.
So I just want to jump right in. I want to ask you the age you were at your diagnosis and the type of diagnosis, because I believe that it helps to our listeners relate to the type of cancer you had, the age you were when you were diagnosed, and also the type of treatment you opted for.
So I was 54 when I was diagnosed. Actually, funny thing, it's a year and 2 days ago that I received my diagnosis. So I just finished 1 year post-diagnosis. I was diagnosed with invasive ductal carcinoma, ER positive, HER negative. I did have what my breast surgeon refers to a funny tumor. I actually had 40% of my tumor was also small cell carcinoma, which is very, very super rare. It's only 1% of, or less than 1% of women in the world that have that. So
say that again, Sabine, because I think I missed it. What's 1%?
It's so I had small cell carcinoma was part of my 40% of my tumor. So I had 60% IDC, invasive ductal carcinoma, and then 40% was small cell carcinoma, which is very, very super rare in the breast. And there's really no studies out about treatment, and maybe not so much treatment, but long-term survivor rates, things like that. So it was a bit scary, to be very honest with you, because nobody really knew what was going on and how this is going to be treated long-term. The good thing is it was caught very, very early. I opted to do a double mastectomy, just merely because my sister's a breast cancer survivor and I have a lot of cancer in the family. So it was almost a non-brainer for me that I don't want my breasts anymore. I want them gone so I don't have reduce my reoccurrence rate, stuff like that. So I opted for double mastectomy, and then I did reconstruction with implants.
I love it. I love it. I have never heard of small cell carcinoma. So one of the things that I love about hearing all of the stories of you amazing, brave, and powerful women is that I learn something new each time. So thank you for educating me. Um, tell me what, if anything, were the lessons in your journey? What was the beauty in your breakdown? That's a shameless book plug, by the way. What was the beauty? What was the beauty in your breakdown?
Honestly, like for me, my lessons and my beauty, like the biggest lessons I learned in my journey is to just stay calm and believe in my God. He will never give me more than I can't handle, and he will always be with me. And it's not up to me. Ultimately, nothing was up to me. So I had to trust the process, and I had to believe and be calm, because stress is not going to get me anywhere. It's just, it would have made me even worse. And because of the uniqueness of my diagnosis, I many times did not know what the next step is going to be and how this is going to look like. And so just, and surrounding myself with good, positive people that that kept me, you know, calm and collective when I had days where I was down. And stay off the internet. That's the biggest thing. If I would have believed what I found on the internet early on, I wouldn't be here today anymore, according to what I was reading, and it ended up not being anything close to that. So again, I think it's being patient, which is very, very hard when you get a diagnosis like breast cancer and not knowing what's going to be happening tomorrow. And you want to find out, and it's scary, and you don't know, treatment and any of that, and it takes a while, but it's really just patience and wait for your doctors to let you know steps and treatments. And because again, like I said, what you find on the internet, what you search, you will find. So, that's the biggest thing. Like, do not believe what is all written on the internet.
I love that. So, what I just heard you say is that the beauty in your breakdown, the lessons that you learned, most importantly, was to trust God.
Yes.
Trust God and trust the process. And I was sharing with the young lady that I interviewed last week that just seems to be the theme of every woman that has been on this YouTube channel, is their relationship, their connection with God. And what's interesting about that for me is that during my breast cancer diagnosis, I was kind of separated from God. I was really frustrated and angry with a lot of church hurt around my sexuality. And so I was disconnected. And so I love this theme that is now coming up, because I've since healed that relationship with God and understand that my frustration wasn't with God, it was with people.
Right.
And so I love that has just become the ongoing theme of these interviews. And so I want anyone listening to know that this gets easier when you're doing it with God. It just does.
Yeah.
Right. The other thing I heard you say is surround yourself with positive people who are going to keep you uplifted. I think that that's so important. Who's in your circle matters, right?
Yeah.
And you want people around you who are going to speak life into you, who are going to remind you of how much you have to live for and how great your life is, right? Despite of this diagnosis, there is still so much that we can look forward to in our daily lives, right? Our
Absolutely.
family, our friends, the love that we have. Um, for me, I had these two children that I was just kind of like, I have to live for them. Like I can't imagine my kids growing up without me. I don't want them to hear stories of me. I want them to experience me.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Right? Stay off the internet. That's good advice.
Yeah.
That's great advice, because one of the things that you said, Sabine, that I resonate with is what you seek, you will find. So why not seek life? Why not seek positivity? Why not seek inspiration, motivation, right? So that's the whole purpose of this YouTube channel, so that when women are out there searching, well, people, because men get diagnosed too. When people are out there searching, that they land on these positive and inspirational stories, so that they can know this is not the end of the road, honey. For many of us, it is just the beginning. We find life and we find intention after this diagnosis. And trust your medical team.
Yes.
right? Have a medical team that you trust. I love that you shared that. And if you don't trust your medical team, it's okay to get second opinions.
Absolutely.
If you don't feel aligned with your medical team, find a new one. There are thousands out there. You don't have to settle for the first. It's kind of like dating. You don't have to settle for the first one you come across, right?
Yes, yes, for sure. I mean, I was very lucky in that retrospect. I was, referred by three different people to one person, and was very lucky to have a great medical team. But yeah, it's I started my journey actually, my journey with God prior to being diagnosed, and shortly before, actually September before, I started going back to church, and then I also started um, I joined a Bible study at work that was offered to me just randomly, and I did that, and then I also started, serving at church more and getting more involved. And just a couple of weeks later, I was diagnosed. And
Mhm.
stepping back and looking at it like in a bigger picture, um, know today that God put me in that path because He knew that I needed my church community and my faith to keep me calm and get me through what I was going to go through. So yeah, it was amazing to kind of put the pieces together after my diagnosis and after everything was going on. Like, oh wow, how that happened. It was really amazing.
Hindsight is always 2020, isn't
Oh
it?
yeah, yes,
And
yes, ma'am.
with the right amount of faith, we can endure almost anything.
Yes,
I truly believe that when we're leaning into
absolutely.
God, we can endure almost anything because we realize that it's not happening to us, it's happening for us. And I truly believe that these divine disruptions come into our lives to elevate us, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
that we can reach back and then be the survival guide for someone else, which is what we're doing here today. So I love this for us.
thank you.
So tell me, Sabine, what it means to you to thrive and how that shows up in your life.
It's growth and development, like just growing as a person, growing in my faith, um, developing a better me, helping um, other women. This is a big part for me now, even in our church. I actually have another survivor. Her and I together have now a group for women that are either going through the journey or in the journey or have been through the journey of breast cancer, and we get together bi-weekly and just kind of help each other. Um, just the day to day of navigating life after. So it's really yeah, it's my personal growth. I think that's where in my faith journey, that's where I feel like I'm thriving more than anything today. So
I love that. Your personal growth in your faith journey is where you believe you are thriving the most, which is huge because to me, that's the top of the food chain, right?
yes,
That's the top of the food chain. Having that faith and that growth in your faith will trickle down into every other aspect of your life and let you know again that you can accomplish and endure almost anything,
yes,
right? So
yes,
I think that's perfect. Tell me more about the support group that you and I believe I know the lady that you started this
you do.
coach group with, Miss the wonderful and loving and so amazing Karen Davis. So
Yes.
tell me more about what you two have created at your church.
So yeah, we have a group of women right now. It's five of us at the moment, and we meet on a biweekly basis, and we just recently started a curriculum that I do at work during my Bible study there. And we just yeah, it's a movement plan. That's what it's called. It was developed by Movement Mortgage, and yeah, it's a Bible study, and it's 42 weeks, I believe. So for us, it's a little bit longer because we meet biweekly. But it's also for us to get together and support each other through our journeys now, reconstructions, you know, navigating life after everything is over. I think that's just the biggest topic for us that we talk about is when everybody goes away because your surgeries are done, your treatments are done, all this is done, and everybody thinks you're good, good, and you're not, because we still continue living with the diagnosis. We still continue going to a doctor's appointment every 4 months. To me, that's where I get the biggest anxiety when I have scans or something like that coming up. And that's really where we support each other. We help each other. We go with each other to doctor's appointments if somebody feels like they need the support. You know, if we have any other surgeries coming up or treatments, if you need help, we can very openly ask for it there. So it's just really supporting each other through the continued journey we have. Because like I said, just because your surgeries and treatment is over doesn't mean that breast cancer is over for you.
I love that. And that is a large part of why I do what I do. I recognize the gap of when treatment is finished and our loved ones, our co-survivors, go back to their life as usual. And, you know, not blaming them because they've likely put their lives on hold, right? So they have to get back to their jobs, their family, their kids, and the things that they put on hold to help support us. Except we're standing there like, okay, what now? One of the things that you talked about and you touched on was the scan anxiety, right? Each time we go for a new scan, it's like, are they going to find something new, right? And we're constantly checking for new lumps and just making sure, doing body scans, like, okay, how am I feeling in every part of my body, right? So I completely rock with what you're talking about, Sabine. It is a real thing. And so I love that I get to be in this space of helping breast cancer survivors move beyond the fear and the anxiety and really get intentional about our lives, our health, our emotional and mental well-being, and making sure that we really are good post breast cancer and not just surviving, but we truly are thriving. So thank you for bringing that up. So tell us what you're up to now, Sabine. I know that you created the support group at your church, but is there anything else that you want to share that you're up to now?
I consistently train for like half marathon distances. That's kind of my safe space where I can just, you know, disconnect from life. I actually ran a half marathon a week and a half after I was diagnosed. It was I was training for it, got the diagnosis. I was a week and a half from flying to Hawaii to do this crazy thing and running a half. And I thought when I was diagnosed that that's not going to happen. And then my surgeon was like, no, do what you need to do, like have fun before anything starts. And I have continued on with it. So it's really trying to keep myself healthy, you know, live a healthy lifestyle and get, but now I have to navigate my new body that I always say, you know, not having hormones and all this other stuff makes it a little bit more challenging to run long distance. So I'm navigating that space right now and trying to figure out how I can do that the best. But just continue serving in my church community and you know, finding ways. Me and Karen, we always try to you know, put our heads together, finding ways how we can help women that are newly diagnosed or going through the journey, because I know how lost I was at times. So you know, finding a better way to help somebody that was newly diagnosed. I think that's what Karen and I are just trying to navigate and figure out how we can do that and reach people.
Yeah, I know Karen is working on helping newly diagnosed breast cancer patients self-advocate, right, for their treatment and speak up about what their needs are. So I love that for her, that she's embarking on that journey. I love it. We have that in common. I've done several half marathons, and I always say I've only done half marathons because I'm only half crazy.
Yeah.
So 13.1 miles is enough for me.
Yes, enough for me too, trust me.
I stopped doing the half marathons because my knees weren't cooperating. Sabine, I'm like, this is a lot. I don't know if it's my gait, my stride, or what, but my knees were just like, girl, look, we're done.
Yeah. I'm battling my hips right now. That's my biggest problem.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. That we have that in common. Not that you're battling your hips, but keep at it. Keep going. Keep thriving. Keep running. Keep supporting the women in your church, in your community. Keep sharing your story of inspiration, because you just don't know how many women you're going to bless, right? So thank you for taking the opportunity to come on and share with us today, Sabine. Is there anything you want to share before we end the segment?
No, it's no, I just, like I said, continue to stay positive, and again seek positivity going forward. Like I said, the diagnosis is not the end.
It's not the end. I love that. This diagnosis is not the end. And with the advancement in treatment and medical treatment, like, women are living longer and better lives after breast cancer. And so that's what I want to leave anybody with that's watching this segment, is that this diagnosis doesn't have to be the end. It is not the end. And to Sabine's point, seek out positivity. When I was going through my treatment, Sabine, I would only watch comedies. Like, laughter is so good for the soul. So I would only watch things that were going to make me laugh and create that energy in my body. So I love that you continue to focus on just being positive and being around people who are going to pour into you and not take from you. So that is a good word, and that's great advice for anybody watching. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, thank you for having me. I really appreciate having the ability to share my story.
Yes, ma'am. So that is what I'm trying to say is that this is going to bring our segment to an end. We've had a great time talking with the beautiful Sabine Wade, and I hope that this episode inspires and motivates another woman on her journey to know that this diagnosis is not the end. Find your tribe, be around positive people, trust the journey, trust your medical team. Find people, a medical team that you genuinely align with. If there's something that feels off, listen to that little voice in your head that says something is off, and stay calm and trust God. That's going to do it for this episode of Thriving on Purpose, the YouTube channel. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you've liked what you've heard today, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. Turn on your notifications to be notified when we have new stories uploaded. Thank you guys for tuning in. Remember, we love you, but God loves you more, and there's nothing you can do about it. Thank y'all for tuning in, and bye for now. For more inspirational stories like these, please like, comment, and subscribe. And remember to turn on your notifications. Thank you for rocking with us. And remember, we're thriving on purpose.